Now, the idea is to take these bolts off a little bit at a time. Sorry about that. I got nothing. Torque down definitely by somebody who knew what they were doing. I've got to make sure that I know the torque sequence and the torque specs. Apparently, from what the gurus say, keep any particular one for having too much pressure on it. You can feel as you slacken the neighboring bolts, the work you come back on will feel tighter, and it is. Because the valve springs are taking up the slack. At some point I'll get to the end of it. Maybe acting too impatiently right now. Doing too much. Really see how that pressure could distort into these rocker bridges. It's not making much difference each time, so I'm pretty much at the end, I guess. This is not a fun job for me. It's a fun job for you. You should have your head examined. Now, they said that it would move to the point where I could get these out. I know what we're talking about here. How long the bolts actually are. Just move it back, move it aside, and grab the push tubes. Oh, there's one. All right, at the end of the last little segment, one of the push rods dropped. I'm hoping to be able to get them out pretty soon. I need to pull it back a little bit more yet. I don't know how. Here we go. How long these bolts are. I'm going to tell you. They seem to have to come a long way. Last thing I want to do is take them off. It's not a big deal, I guess. They have to come out. Sure don't want to scratch or ruin anything. I'll have to replace them later. Probably being a little bit careful here. This is the crux of the job. That's why I've got the video rolling, but just about everywhere else I stopped the video to do the operation. Here, when I went on the net, this is what was always really missing to me. It kept me from having the confidence of going ahead and trying it. See, I'm almost there. Okay, here we go. Here's the #1 cylinder push rod. And you see what I've done? cleverly put a box with holes in there. Be absolutely certain they all go back in the right place. On the internet, someone else mentioned, don't you dare, someone mentioned the possibility of the little cups at the far end gripping the push rod, and said to jiggle them a little bit to be sure. I don't feel that. I'm trying to go slowly, but I still don't feel anything like that. Just my luck if those things fell right in all of them at the same time. I have to find a way. Should have used a shallower box, I guess. Look at that little son of a bitch. So all I need is two to act like that, and I'm in trouble. I'm going to slant you over here. There you go, little guy. It'll be hard for you to fall through. So I guess I slacken the bolts as much as I can, and then just physically, with the other hand pulling the bridge back, I have access to each push tube. And I get it in there. So I guess I can, with a clear conscience, turn off the video now and finish both sides and come back to you after. At this point, I'm just going around breaking the bolts, so to speak, breaking the tightness. I've done the other side. That one down there, near the firewall, pretty well hidden away. This way should be a big hit. So I'll go around, take them all off, and check in with you. Well, it's hard to believe that it came off. But I gotta tell you, the hose, the short hose that's connected to the manifold, to the intake manifold, is a bear to get off. I don't know how I'm gonna get one back on. I mean, you can't bring it. Can't bring the manifold in with all ready to install and start screwing it into that, to the hose that'll be waiting. Almost seems like it's something you only would change when the water pump would be removed. I don't know. But let's remove the camera from the stand and go take a look. The hose to which I was referring. I'm going to put a new piece on. God knows it could be a little shorter too, because the stems are plenty long enough to take a shorter hose, but I'll do my best. My best to try to fit something in there. But this dirty old thing needs a real cleanup. I haven't received the new gasket set yet, so I'm not sure what the O-ring is for in the new gasket set. It looks like it could almost be made for this opening, but there's nothing there. for the distributor. The oil cap feed though, there may be something, it may be for that. I'll have to see once I actually have the kit in my hands. I'll find out what's what. Not crazy about pieces of dirt here, okay. Huh. It's a lot lighter than if it had been cast iron. This thing's easy for one guy to schlep around, but apparently the cast iron, you better have a couple of friends in the neighborhood. Oh, good Lord. What have I gotten myself into? I'll have to get myself out of it. So I've got all the bolts in place here and the push tubes. Each in the order it was removed. Carburetor over there. Valve covers, the gaskets had no tear or wear on them, so I might try to put them in, I don't know. Have enough trouble probably. Another new torque converter. It's a 25 to 2700 or 26 to 2800 stall speed. There's a lot of stuff, but I've got it all on video, and at least for the moment in my memory as well. Go back to the car for a second. I'll clean out the valley probably starting tomorrow. I feel like I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish today. I might even try to get a shot of what's down here. You know, this is where the distributor goes. I'm not seeing too much here. Interesting. I'm anxious to see where that O-ring, that rubber O-ring in the gasket set goes. Perhaps it's an option I don't have. I can see that they used, unlike some of the people on the internet, no gasket sealer was used, no silicone sealer was used on the ports that I can see. These gaskets look in fair shape. I haven't seen 1,000 in my life, but from what I've seen of gaskets, these look all right. Now here's the culprit, apparently back here. I hear tell that these cork gaskets are to be thrown away the minute you open the package. And you've got to put down a bead of silicone instead. So this would be the culprit. I actually saw the traces of it. There's almost no doubt in my mind that this was leaking oil, and it's enough to leave a spot the size of, I guess, of a hockey puck, maybe a softball, on the garage floor every day I took it out. So that was annoying. Something happens to me and my wife comes to sell it, she's going to have to make all kinds of apologies and give all kinds of caveats. I want to fix this thing up. I want it to be solid, turnkey, ready to go. If someone wants to put a stereo in it, that's fine. But mechanically speaking, I want it to be A1 and solid as a rock. That means I have to take my time and be careful. But until tomorrow, I guess, I'm going to sign off.